There are rumours of a Queen of the Ring tournament being held this year by the WWE. Once again, if you're a regular here, this won't be news to you, as we spoke about it in the build-up to the final match between Baron Corbin and Shinsuke Nakamura a month ago. But let's go into more detail. The WWE are planning a King of the Ring and a Queen of the Ring this year. The entire feud between Corbin and Nakamura was built around the position of King, which will be competed for in a relatively short space of time. The Queen of the Ring announcement is expected to be made soon as well, and this is one of the reasons that the WWE have been padding out the SmackDown side of the company, ready to have split brackets. The WWE have basically put a block on themselves until SummerSlam. Once we are past SummerSlam, there will be a number of major announcements. The draft, King and Queen of the Ring, whatever's happening for Survivor Series, and the like going forwards. I do believe that's when Becky Lynch will be returning as well. Current champions are not believed to be likely King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring contenders. There are a number of people to thank for this development, and this is news that I definitely wanted to share. First and foremost, as regards both tournaments, we need to mention Xavier Woods. He has not shut up about this since the last King of the Ring tournament 2 years ago, won by Baron Corbin. He's been knocking down Vince McMahon's door on a regular basis talking about this, and I have to give him immense credit because other people will benefit from Xavier Woods doing that. They will benefit massively. There has also been a push by several women in the company, naturally, most notably the usual suspects, Sasha Banks and of course Bayley. Again, Sasha Banks can talk to Vince McMahon about anything, they are basically the same person. And yes, I know they're not, but they are. The WWE's intention with both tournaments is apparently to create a future top-level first-time champion. The WWE have been looking at methods by which they can make new top-level stars for a while now, due to how they have suffered with a lack of star power in the Thunderdome era. This is also one of the reasons Triple H recently came out and said we are exploring ways to get new fans and to get fans back. New first-time champions is one of the things they've landed on, and you can see this because this is part of the reasoning behind the victories for Nikki Cross, who is already the Raw Women's Champion, and Big E at the Money in the Bank ladder matches. With this in mind, there are a number of clear contenders on both sides. Watch out for Damian Priest, Shinsuke Nakamura and Cesaro for the men, whereas for the women, keep an eye on Io Shirai, Sonya Deville and Shayna Baszler. From where I'm sitting, this would be the perfect relaunch for Shayna Baszler. Give me an 8-woman tournament. Or in fact, give me a 16-woman tournament. I don't care. Give me a 16-woman tournament. 8 from Raw and 8 from SmackDown. Finish it as Shayna Baszler beating Charlotte Flair, the Queen and the Queen of Spades. Tell me you don't care that much more about Shayna Baszler as a result of that. I've seen members of the Rat Pack say that they want Charlotte Flair to win, which, as I see it, is a bit ridiculous. What about you? Who do you want to see winning a King or Queen of the Ring? Let's catch up on the chat. Rob says, it's so many returns and surprises anticipated. My anticipation is for Becky and Sasha. I tell you, Becky Lynch's return is stressful at this point. Every Monday night I'm on the edge of my seat to see the man pop up on the LED Tron. Same, mate, same. I've been sharing whatever information I've had. Like I was able to say the day of Money in the Bank, a few hours beforehand, I released a video saying that Becky Lynch and Sonya Deville were there but would not be featured. And in fact, a month before Fightful Select reported that Sonya Deville was preparing for an in-ring return, I did mention that on Twitter as well. So this is something I've been slightly ahead of, and I've been able to say, okay, it's not happening now. But at the same time, it's Becky Lynch. Para says, okay, so I have a controversial opinion on women's wrestling. Go for it. I'm not a fan of a split roster. Most of the time when wrestlers train, they train mixed and don't get split till shows. I feel like women's wrestling is often seen as a gimmick. Along for the day, intergender matches isn't a gimmick match. I think anyone who thinks women's wrestling is a gimmick is a bit of a psychopath, to be completely honest. At this point, the women's wrestling is as good as the men's wrestling, and it has been for quite a while now. You've got people like Charlotte, like Becky, like Asuka, like Rhea Ripley. Charlotte and Rhea tore it up, like Sasha Banks, like Bianca Belair, Bayley. You've got incredible talent, top to bottom in WWE. You go over to AEW, look what Britt Baker's doing. They've just signed Thunder Rosa full-time. She's going to come in a house of fire, and you know it. There is talent across the world putting on great matches. That said, I would like to see a bit more intergender. I've mentioned this before, but I really want to see Rhea Ripley and Drew McIntyre wrestle. I do. I just think that would be an absolute hoss match. I think that would be insane. I would love it. What can I say? Supercard says King or Queen of the Ring was a big thing back in the day. It should be again. It should be again. Ideally, it should decide who gets the championship match for Royal Rumble. Because ultimately, you're giving them a big opportunity, but you're taking them out of the Royal Rumble. Wolf says, I would love to see Shayna win Queen of the Ring. She's definitely my choice. Bailey says, you said before that the 4 Horsewomen aren't ever leaving. I said they wouldn't be released. I didn't say they weren't ever leaving. I said they wouldn't be released. But how does WWE keep Charlotte motivated and not considering a move of Andrade in the future? Oh, very easy. They just keep giving her championships. It's Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair is very happy in the WWE. She is the big name woman in the company. But as I said, they won't be released. I can't say they're not going to leave. I can't say they might not see greener pastures at some point. But they will never be released because the 4 Horsewomen brand is too strong on its own. Charlotte and Tessa will wrestle each other at some point in the future. Charlotte and Tessa Blanchard will wrestle each other at some point in the future. I guarantee it. Paris says, I agree. I love women's wrestling, but I would love to see something like Chyna was back in the day. I think a lot of women's wrestlers now are similar to how Chyna was. Charlotte Flair is as chiseled and defined as Chyna was, but it's not so out of the ordinary now because you've got people like Rhea Ripley, who's also built that strong. You've got Raquel Gonzalez. You've got a number of people who are similarly built in that regard. I think it's less out of the ordinary now, so it stands out a little bit less.